Hi everybody, it's Graeme here. Just thought I'd better do a video. Hadn't done one for about a week or two. I'm now week 3. I've now started the puree stage. So what's actually a little bit good. My last week of liquid food was quite good. Pretty much a little bit better than the first week. Obviously, you know, for people who are going through this journey, especially in Australia, you do the ulti-fast for about 2 weeks before, so then, you know, another 2 weeks or so of liquid diet, you're sort of pretty much used to it. For me anyway. So it wasn't too much of a struggle. The most struggle was obviously after surgery, getting in the protein. You know, my dietitian told me mostly it was protein. So that was my biggest struggle, trying to get it in. After surgery, I found that I couldn't really do the protein drinks as such. You know, the ones you find in Chemist Warehouse or Coles or Woolworths, you know, those pre-shaked ones already. I just found them a bit heavy. And like I'd take 1 or 2 sips and I'd feel a bit sick, a little bit, but not enough that I was vomiting, just I felt sick. So I sort of try to stay away from them. So, you know, I could have done better with my protein in the first couple of weeks. So that was my my weakness part, I would say. But it was good to have something else except ulti-fast. Like I actually had a ulti-fast about day 4 after surgery, and I had a strawberry flavored, what I did actually like before. And when I had it, I found it was not disgusting, but really not nice. I know that I've been told by a number of people, and also by my surgeon, and also the nurses at the hospital, that, you know, your taste buds do change a little bit. But it wasn't so much the strawberry flavor. It was more, it tasted very powdery. And then I obviously watered it down a little bit as well, but it just seemed not normal. It's a funny way to describe it, but yeah. But I also found through a couple of contacts these icy poles you can buy from the Chemist Warehouse. That's where I bought them from, but I'm sure any pharmacy or supermarket has it. And I just got one out of the freezer here. I'll see if I can, yep, if you can see that, Hydrolite. They were on special when I bought them for a pack of 16, I think it was, for about $12 from Chemist Warehouse. And I pretty much had 2 or 3 of those a day, because obviously, as you know, if you have had surgery or you're planning to have surgery, you can't just get the drink and drink like you would before. You really still, for me, I'm still sipping a little bit, sip. So obviously, if you have, you know, if you haven't drinking a little bit in a bit of a time, you do feel a bit weak, and, you know, you want to drink and you want that fasting. Where I found by having the icy pole that I did actually feel a bit quicker in feeling better. And I was told by a few people that even people now, months after surgery, they still do it after they go to the gym or something like that. It gives them that fast pickup. I currently, this one is the blackcurrant. It's not a strong blackcurrant taste, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. I also got the lemonade. A lot of people I've heard said the lemonade's very nice. I found it a little bit sweet. There is another flavor, orange. I'll probably get next time and try, so I'll pop it in my next video that when I try it. But I bought 2 boxes, 1 of each, so sort of a few left to go. But yeah, even today I went for a very long walk around Sydney Harbour and Opera House, and as soon as I got back, I had a couple of those, and that sort of got me back into the movement of having a few drink, you know, being able to sip. Another thing that I found, I'm not sure if any other people found it, since surgery, and I have been having liquid and now into the puree stage, with my liquid, I like it really cold. And I seem to be able to drink a bit more at one time than if it was a room temperature drink. I haven't really gone to tea and coffee at this stage. I'm not a tea person. I'm a cold tea person, but I do like coffee, but I'm trying to stay away from it as long as possible. But I like it cold. Like I had a smoothie today I made at home, just mango, passion fruit, and a banana with coconut water. And I found I was able to drink it quite quickly. Not as quick as before, but quicker than I'm being sip, sip, sip. So that was quite good. But I've noticed that I really enjoy cold drinks more than a room temperature drink. I don't know if anyone else has that. If you do, drop me a comment down below. But also too, I caught up with my surgeon on last Wednesday, and he was quite happy with everything. He said just to push up my water intake. What I'm finding a bit of a struggle, because obviously now I'm into the puree stage. My dietitian says that they want you to stop drinking 30 minutes before you're going to eat and not drink until 30 minutes after. So in total, like it's around about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes before you're sort of having a drink. So you're losing that 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner. So, you're losing, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, if my calculations are good, out of your day from drinking. So I usually have an isopol about 30 minutes after dinner and so forth. Not for breakfast, of course, but I do for lunch and dinner. 30 minutes afterwards as my first part of drink. And I find that just gives me that boost to get back into drinking and not sip, sip, sip. Because by that time, I'm quite thirsty. For me personally, but everybody's different. It's just, But I've found that it's helping a lot having those in the freezer. And actually they freeze quite quickly. I was quite surprised how quickly they freezed. And another thing that I've really noticed since surgery, I'm 13.7 kilos down from my beginning of 2nd of April from my pre-surgery diet. And I would say I've lost about a 9.2 since surgery. So, it's a good amount. I don't want to lose it too fast. But I'm really finding that the cold, like I'm really always feeling cold. Before I always had the air conditioner going and I always felt hot. And now I feel cold all the time. So I don't know if anyone else has that that happening or any experience like that, but it could be that because losing so much weight in the same thing so fast, or I don't know. But yeah, so unfortunately it's coming this winter, so I think I might be a bit cold this winter. But hey, so now I'm into the first week of my puree stage. So on my doctor's orders and dietitian orders, they want us to puree everything. Even if I do scrambled eggs, I need to then blend it. I just have a NutriBullet, so I just chuck everything in and bam. I've had a fish. I've been on it now for, a week? Started on Monday, so it's now Friday, so a week. And obviously, I had a little bit of mashed potatoes and pumpkin and a few other little things over the time. I'm still getting used to cooking a small portion. So I seem to I've got it down a little bit, but I still need to get it down even more. So I seem to be having my leftover dinners for lunch the next day as well. I'm still at home, I'm not working at the moment. So it's a little bit helpful that way. But otherwise, going pretty good. The first time I had food, even it was just mashed potato and it was quite runny type of thing. It was quite nice just to have some food in my stomach. One thing I was shocked about, and the dietitian did inform me that this would probably happen, was that you would actually eat less than you were eating when you're on the liquid diet. So to give you an idea, I used to be able, some days, not every day, some days I would be able to get to about half a cup of soup. that was just made homemade soup. And other days I couldn't do all of that either. So, you know, just depend on the day. But since going into the puree stage, except from tonight, but all other nights, I've only been having around about 4 to maybe 6 teaspoons of whatever I've cooked. Tonight I was able to have about 10. I think maybe because I did a bit of a big walk today. It's like almost just under 6 kilometers. So it's a lot of big walk for myself. Maybe that had a little bit to do with it. I'm not sure. But yeah, but the dietitian did inform me that it probably will find that you eat less now because obviously the food takes up more space. But the best suggestion I have for anyone is when you are eating, you know, for me, what I do is I usually, even on a puree stage, you need to still chew. Because saliva from your mouth obviously helps your stomach break down the food even more. And the point is going on to the puree stage at the moment is that you don't want your stomach going, you know, squashing too much. And that's why you go through the stages. So for me, I still try to chew as much as I possibly can through each mouthful. And I take a mouthful, I put the spoon down, and I'll go on to Instagram or Facebook and, you know, keep my mind occupied doing something for that for a couple, you know, then maybe a minute or so later I'll have another bite. So it usually takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to have my meal. I try to stretch it out as much as possible, and because I need to know when I feel full without overeating. My biggest scare is at the moment that once I do start eating, that I will start to gain the weight. But I think a lot of people have that same feeling. So hopefully, and you know, I've got a lot of support there, so I'm pretty sure, you know, I think it's just the mind thinking of, you know, doubt. But, you know, I'm getting a lot of comments saying that my faces look smaller, and also I can feel in my clothes that I do feel a bit looser. I've sort of plateaued in weight for the last week, the same, and I'm just putting that down to because I'm now eating food that my stomach may be storing a little bit of it or in a bit of shock or whatever. So a few people I've spoken to said that that happened to them as well, and in the second week of puree stage that then they lost a good chunk of weight. So, but at the moment, I mean, I'm not too watching the scales every day because it is a life balance change. It's not just scales. I don't want to get down to my weight, my goal weight, and be unhealthy, you know. So I really need to push up the water, the vitamins, and that. So hopefully I can get away from the liquid vitamin, because the liquid vitamin, I'm sorry to say, is absolutely disgusting. Like, really, really bad. So, I mean, I do try to deal with it, but yeah, I just can't do it. So I've gone now back to the chewing vitamins you can buy. I think it's, I can't remember, but I'll drop it down below the ones that I use. I've chatted with a few other people there now actually taking tablets. They just crush it in half and take half. Not a big fan of crushing tablets. I just think they taste really bad. So it's a personal choice. This whole journey is everybody's own journey. I was very surprised with talking to a lot of people that's had surgery now, that before, or something I like, they don't like, or something that we both used to like that they don't like and I like. It's very weird to hear that we had the exact same operation, but different people have different taste buds and things that, you know, we all used to like, you know, now don't like. One thing I do for myself is I actually put a timer on my phone to remind myself to eat, because I know I'm very early stage, but I find that I'm not hungry at all. I'll wake up and I'll feel hungry because I haven't eaten for about 8 hours, but I find that, so I'll have breakfast, but then I'll sort of go through the whole day without actually, it'll probably be like 3 o'clock and I go, oh, I haven't had lunch. So I now put timers on my phone around 1 o'clock and then about 6:30 to remind myself to actually eat. And another hint that I like to give to people, I found it quite annoying, keep sip. So I went to the shops and I bought straw, and I drink through a straw. I find that works much easier for me. I don't feel that I'm lifting my hand all the time, sip, 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 sip. I don't know, it could be a little bit lazy, I'm not sure. But I also, another thing that works for me is that I actually take a drink to bed and have next to my bed, because obviously I was waking up in the first week or so after surgery quite early because I was quite thirsty and very hungry. But once I started bringing the drink, if I woke up through the night, I could have a sip and I seem to be sleeping a little bit longer. I don't know, maybe it's a mental thing or something, I'm not sure. But it worked for me. It might work for you, just a suggestion. But I found that now that I'm doing that, I'm actually sleeping longer and I'm not actually waking up thirsty, like really, really thirsty. Because obviously you don't want to have that build gap. So I think that's pretty much everything at the moment. I know this is probably the longest video that I've put up. Looking at the minutes now, I'm about 16 minutes. So yes, I do like to talk. So I wish everyone fantastic time on their journey. And you can either follow me on my Instagram I have, or on here on YouTube. I'll put everything down the bottom. So thank you for everyone's support and everything, and I'll hopefully post another picture in a couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll have some good news that my weight has gone down a little bit more. So ciao everybody.